Good morning, Bellows Falls, and welcome to the feed. Here we are.
It's interesting that in the opening clip, I was noticing it said we had a guest.
We do have a guest. You can't see him here with us.
I didn't know that. I thought that was Groot.
It is Groot,
I didn't
but
realize
it's a fitting guest. I don't know if you
stand-in for Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew Malshuk is our guest today. He's a high school student at the Bellows Falls Union High School. He served as a intern for the last probably
years,
three.
I think.
Well, he did. He worked with us last year too, but I think he actually did an in-school internship and got credit for
That's
for
it,
working at the
folks,
station.
for the feed.
Yeah.
Be sure to catch us every Wednesday at 7:30.
Oh, hey, we're back. Andrew's switching for us today.
Andrew's spirit is here, apparently.
Yes, it is.
Messing with our show.
Today is the 74th anniversary of D-Day. Since we don't have a guest, we can
We're gonna
maybe
talk
about the invasion of Europe in 1944.
Wait, can we get some little toy soldiers
That's
to
that's
reenact
next.
it?
We're going to have Groot, and he's going to invade France. We're all landing on Normandy Beach, and it's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy are coming in to fight the Nazis with Captain America. Sound
Well,
good?
that would be, maybe that's your next Fact TV production.
That could be. And Wonder Woman. Don't forget Wonder Woman's coming in there. But she was in World War One.
Oh,
With
yeah.
interesting facts. Anyway, our plan for today was to have Andrew Malshuk in and talk about his experiences here at Fact TV and the fact that he was an intern, that he did a project, and do we want to talk about the coming up events first, or do we want to go right into the heart of the show?
Let's get the events out of the way,
Yeah,
because I know we have
okay.
a couple clips, and then probably once we get on a roll talking about
Yeah.
youth opportunities here at FACT and the strange events coming up, we'll probably run out of time.
Yeah, run out of time.
I just want to remind everybody that this weekend is the big weekend. It's the 19th annual Roots on the River Festival happening up at the Roadway Inn. Just north of Bells Falls. For those people that have been around a very long time, it's the old Rockingham Motor Lodge.
Right.
If you're not sure where it is, it's interesting. I couldn't believe they're coming up on 20 years.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
And that's a pretty long time for running a festival. So kudos to Ray and his crew. Started out as Charlie Hunter, and then he passed the torch to Ray. And it's a lot of work.
It is
a lot of work,
really a lot of work.
and it's a lot of effort. But it brings a lot of benefit to the town. I was just mentioning in my class this morning that I always like this weekend because you'll start to see this town kind of bustle. You can visibly see the presence of the folks that are coming for Roots on the River. It starts with an open mic at PK's on Thursday night. And then on Friday, there'll be a Flatiron Exchange open mic from 3 to, it says 3 p.m. open mic. I think it goes from like 3 to 6, something like that. Also, people can go, remember this is the second week of the farmer's market. And then Friday night under the big tent, the doors open at 4, well, they open at 3:30, and then the music starts at 4. It goes till, the last band goes on at 9:55, so I'm guessing they go till probably
midnight, probably.
midnight. And then Saturday, doors open at 11:45, and the music goes from noon until probably the same thing, 8:30, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Sunday is the big one that I've never been to any of the Root stuff, but Sunday's the meeting house, and you talk about that as quite an interesting
It's
experience.
really inspirational because it's the meeting house, and there's no electricity in the meeting house, so obviously it's all acoustic. But it's also just the way that the meeting house is set up. It lends itself to this. You're sort of, everyone's around the performers, and there isn't a bad seat in the house because you're within really close. And then they're doing inspirational songs, and then they do like a little picnic outside, and they come back and they do some more inspirational songs, and it's very nice. I mean, you can't get a more.
And I believe that usually is sold out. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
I
Yeah,
think
that's
I'm
usually
pretty-
sold out. So if it might be too late for you to go to that event, but there's certainly, you can do walk-ups on Friday night and walk-up on Saturday.
Oh, Saturday especially, because
Yeah.
it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah,
and,
they've lucked out with the weather. Traditionally, they don't have
Yeah,
the best luck with the weather.
exactly. Usually one day is
Ever
rained
since
out.
Ray started buying that rain insurance, it's guaranteed he doesn't have rain.
Yeah, and like Marty said, it's a lot of work, and like people, one of the things I was talking with Ray, and he goes, "Well, when things look like they're easy, there's a lot of work involved." And I know he's been working
He works pretty much the whole year.
He does. Like he
To
told me
some
this morning
extent.
that at the last day of the festival last year, he put in the orders for the tents this year. So, it's like it's just a continuous thing, and it really ramps up for him, where he's doing, 7 days a week,
In addition
long
to
days,
his regular
18-hour
work. Yep.
days.
Yep.
And
And he
but he does a
gets-
great job, and everybody helping out. And there's some volunteers this year.
There's a
huh?
newbie
A new
volunteer this year.
volunteer.
I know. I decided to check out the festival, and because it wasn't really 100% my style of music, or I don't think that it is, I decided to volunteer. So that's another opportunity. I believe now the volunteers are set. It's a
Yeah,
little
I
late
think it
this
is,
year,
yeah.
but if you are interested in helping out with the festival, you can contact them and get on the volunteer list. And then you have to commit to 8 hours over the course of the weekend. And then if you do want to stay and watch any music, you can stay
Yeah,
and
you
watch
get to
music.
just do the whole weekend, so
Mm-hmm.
it's really good. I'm volunteering also. My wife Sue's volunteering, so it should be fun. I mean, in the past, it's been a whole other. It's sort of you meet a whole bunch of really nice people, and you spend the days, listening to music and doing stuff, and it's
And it's right
a
here in
lot of
Bells
fun.
Falls, north end of town.
Yeah, so I
check
would
it out.
I highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it also. Roots on the River.
Okay, well, back to Andrew. He's
Back to
still not
Andrew.
here.
He's still not here. He's apparently following the latest sleep study that teenagers need more
They
sleep.
do,
and they're not supposed to do anything early in the morning. He apparently got the word on that.
He got the word on it. In fact, TV's schedule does not match his.
Exactly.
And so, he's not
therefore,
here. But we
he's
do have
choosing to
group
sleep. We have
and
group.
groups.
So tell us about, a little bit more about the contest that
Well,
Andrew completed.
was sort of.
Do you want to show
It
the
was
video first?
fortuitous. Let's just wait just one second. In that, Andrew was doing an internship here, and he had it was an elective, so he was getting elective credit from the high school, and he would come in the morning, like 9 in the morning, and spend or like maybe closer to 9:45 to 11:45
Oh,
or
so
something like
that's
that.
when we should have had the show?
Maybe, but.
Anyway.
And he was doing, he learned how to edit, and he was learning how to do sound stuff, and he was creating these little, not little, I shouldn't say little, but doing almost like studies, like an artist does a study, like he did transitions, where he would do all these different transitions, and then he did music, and I actually wish that he was here, because some of the stuff he did was really,
all components of editing.
yeah, all components of editing and all components of production. But then along came this contest by it was the Vermont Department of Public Safety, and they wanted to do videos on distracted driving and so that people wouldn't do distracted driving. So Alex at the station said, well, maybe that would be a good project for you, and you could use it as as your internship project, but also you would enter the contest and you had a chance to win some money. Mm-hmm. And he did. He entered the contest, he put it all together, he created the components, he did it, presented and posted it up publicly, got a lot of hits on it, and ended up winning the contest for the state.
Nice.
So, and he got an award from the governor and $750.
Good.
So that's not a
Did he
bad-
get to go to Montpelier and
And he
do the
got
whole
to go to
ceremony?
Montpelier and got met the governor. The governor gave him an award. If we wanted to show the clip, we could go do that right now.
You excited for the football game?
Yeah, pretty excited, yeah.
What are you doing? You can't do that.
Don't worry about it, I'm a good driver.
But you could miss so much texting and driving.
There's nothing on this road.
That's what they all say. Oh my god!
What is your problem?
Don't text and drive. The next thing you miss could be the rest of your life.
So that was his award-winning clip. I thought it was very
complete
cute.
with the bunny costume. I'm
Like,
so pleased to see the bunny costume.
We've seen the bunny costume here before. We've seen
have.
the alien mask here before. But they did all that with a stationary car, and then they green screened around it.
I was going to ask how
And
they
then
assume
they-
it was green screen, yeah.
They green screened around while they were shooting, and then they went out and shot the various motion
Footage.
pieces from another car. And it was so realistic that the people, because one of the rules of the contest was you weren't supposed to actually text while you were driving. And they called him up and said, dude, that was really nice. video, but one of the rules was you can't text while you drive. And they were going to eliminate him, and he had to
Oh,
explain
wow.
to him that it was actually he had green screened it, he
Uh-huh.
had done all these things to make it look, and that's how realistic it looked. And you even saw that the car was sort of bouncing
Mm-hmm.
along. That was Alex pushing on the bumper as they were filming.
So
He was head of special effects.
Special effect. So he put a lot of authenticity into the production, and I'm gonna guess that the average person sitting out there probably doesn't realize that. What was it? How long was it? Like
25 seconds. That was another
25-second
one of the
25
rules.
second video took how many hours to shoot and edit?
Well, I think they took an
Took a few.
afternoon to
After-
shoot.
yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 hours of shooting.
Well, you have pre-planning time too. Like,
Yeah, and
what are we gonna
pre-planning.
do?
He had
How
to
are we gonna
write
set
it.
this
He had to
up?
get the people, and the actual shoot was like 2 hours, 3 hours in an afternoon, and then it was probably 2 weeks of editing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably, it was hours at a time because he would come in here and do it,
Right.
but it was still probably 8 to 10, maybe 16 hours of editing for the 25 seconds. And he would, I actually saw him do he did a presentation on his internship, and one of the things he talked about was having to write a script, so he had to do the English part, and then actually having to fit that message into 25 seconds. It may sound like, oh, that's easy to do,
It's not easy to
but
do.
there was all these elements that he wanted to do, and it had to be 25 seconds long. It couldn't be shorter. It couldn't be longer.
Oh, it had to be exactly 25
It had to be
seconds? Oh, wow.
exactly 25
That's even
seconds.
harder.
Yeah, and
That's even
so
harder.
it was quite the challenge. And then he had to match up the green screen, the stuff that he shot outside, and make it look like it was shot from the inside of a car.
So there's a lot of skill sets that he had to apply to this one little project, and a really good learning tool, a very good use of practical skills, which I think sometimes when you're a high school student
Yeah.
and you're doing things in school, you don't necessarily see an immediate practical application.
Yeah, you always see people say, "What am I going to use algebra
What am I going to use
for?"
algebra? Exactly.
Yeah. And it's-
But in this
yeah.
case, an internship helped him see some practical applications of skill sets.
Well, and I ended up talking he did his internship presentation for the school. He did it here last week, and I sat in and I was asking Andrew questions during it, and I was asking his advisor questions too. And this is the first year they've done this at Bellows Falls High School, and Andrews was one, but they did 10 total, and they had people at Springfield Hospital, they had people at the 2 ambulance services, they had several people that worked in factories like Acroma and places like that. And these were really practical. I was amazed at the practicality of this, because like you said, it's sort of like, and I'm not sure whether it's as I think of it more than when I was a kid, because kids don't get summer jobs anymore. They
Right,
don't,
right.
I don't know how they do whatever they do, but I always had a summer job in high school, and even before junior high school. And
He was working since came out of the womb.
well, we won't go there, but
Oh wait, that's Rick.
That was Rick.
Rick when he was
Rick
2
came
years
out with
old,
a
he came
shovel
out
in
with
his
a shovel
hand.
in his hand. Exactly.
yeah. But anyway, this was a really practical thing. He came in every morning. He got to mix with adults. He had things he had to do. He learned practical pieces of information, and it wasn't theory. It was all practice. And I would recommend that people.
And this is available to any high school student. They can go into this internship program.
Yeah,
and
I
they
guess
can
so.
be an
And
intern
from
at that?
he's a sophomore, so he was able to do that. And I talked with he did it as sort of elective credits, but I guess they can structure it so it can be a math credit or a history credit or a I'm not sure what other social stuff,
depending
but
on
they can
what.
be specialized credits depending on how they do it. So I thought that was a really neat thing, and to be able to come in here and do it at Fact TV, there's a lot of stuff that you could take and use elsewhere. I mean,
Well, that's one of the things that, again, someone in my class asked who our guest was this morning, and I told him, and I said we were going to be talking about youth opportunities here at FACT, and so we talked a little bit about it, and I think that you get some practical skills. You learn how to use the camera, and so that you told me he did some work this summer filming meetings. 'Cause
Last
in
year
fact,
he
he's
did,
always looking
yeah.
for people to film meetings. So he was applying those practical skills and getting paid for it in a job that for a high school student is pretty nice paying job for like
Right, because
an evening
we,
or two a week.
We subcontract, but maybe people don't know this, but the meetings that we do, like the library, the
board
town
meetings.
board meetings and the school board meetings and the village board meetings and the Saxons River board meetings and the Westminster West board meetings, all those meetings, we have to get people, subcontractors who come in, they pick up equipment, they take the equipment to the meeting, they film it, then they come back and they get paid to do that. And last summer, Andrew did pretty well by just, doing,
Couple meetings a week, I'm
couple
guessing.
meetings a
Yeah.
week. He was making, good money for a kid. And, so that was a really good opportunity. And then it turned into, this year he's doing he did the 4 credit internship. He was talking about doing a paid internship, but I'm thinking maybe Groot might be doing that paid internship now. That,
I'm thinking,
he's
I'm
like,
thinking there-
Groot shows up. You
Yeah,
know?
Groot's here. Andrew's not. Apparently going back to that sleep study.
Yeah, okay.
And
But,
then he also helped out with the video that you guys, the production that you guys did last year. He was actually in that, correct?
right, he
Strange
was in
Events?
it, and he was helped out with the sound. He's helped out with. So yeah, we did Strange Events at the Violet Bridge. I don't know. We've done we've talked about it a lot. I don't know if people have seen it. It's on the website. You can pick it up. The first episode of Strange Events at the Violet Bridge was, it was a lot of work. But Andrew was in it. He starred in it, and he has come back, and I think he learned a lot about video production there too, and being in what it's like to be on the other side of the camera, and then also sort of when he finished last year, he was convinced he wanted to be on the production side, that he wanted to be behind the camera, he wanted to be doing the editing, the special effects.
Oh, for the next.
For episode 2, because episode 2 is coming up, and but I think over the course of the year now he's sort of
Changed his
changed back to where he wants to do a mix, and I think he's going to do a mix. He was actually talking to me later about actually helping with the writing, even because it's created that interest in him. And maybe we might be able to go to our second clip, which is the trailer for the episode 1 of.
Accidents are what weak people use to justify their failures.
Something about a curse concerning a family of builders, or some sort of promise.
Oh man, you need to tell us everything you know about that bridge.
It is cursed.
The 3 of you need to be very careful about what you do and say to anyone.
Cover the signs, cross the bridge.
I'm not going to that bridge.
You think she's possessed or something?
Lightning flashed across the sky. Thunder roared down through the valley.
You think the curse is real?
The promise!
You're a coward.
It's following us!
Yes, I do. Our lives have been miserable since the bridge closed in 2008.
Drew!
Hands up!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah!
Oh my god! I think we pissed it off!
It's not fire.
Sunis has returned.
We're screwed.
There's a visual representation of Andrew. He was in the center in that last picture.
Yeah, but so Strange Events episode 2 is coming up this summer, and they've started. They have the script done. They've started reading for the parts, and so there's several people that are cast. They're still looking for some adult people, but also not kids necessarily, young adults, because there's all sorts of opportunities to do this. We had last year we had 2 people, Byron and Olivia, who did all the camera work, and that was just a really interesting thing for them. They weren't interested in being in front of the camera. They were interested in doing the camera work. Byron ended up being a drug dealer before we finished, but he was.
Sometimes you have to double up here at
you
Fact.
double up at
With your,
Fact
you have to
TV.
be cross-trained. But that, again, I think brings up something that I think if kids are looking for things to do in the summer and they want to learn, again, it's a practical skill. You learn, these are things that maybe you don't go into video production as your career, but it certainly wouldn't hurt to have that skill set.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
knowing how to
yeah.
produce a video, knowing how to edit, those are all things that can help in any business. If you're, that's, I mean, video promotion and promoting on video is kind of the way, print
Yeah.
promotion isn't
Oh, yeah.
quite the thing anymore. So it's
And
a practical
YouTube,
skill
everyone
set.
wants to be a
Everybody wants to
YouTube
do-
star, and if you want to be a YouTube
including
star,
Mike, he's been trying to be a
I
YouTube
know.
star.
That's my dream, is
Your
to
dream
grow
to-
up to be a YouTube,
YouTube
star.
star.
But yeah, if you want to be a YouTube star, you have to be able to tell a story. There has to be some hook there. And I think that's the other practical thing that people learn is it's not just you can't just be a YouTube star. There's like a process to doing it, and you learn that process. And
you also are working with a whole wide range of people because you have adults on the film, you have younger adults, and I think we've been talking about community, and we've been talking about getting people connected, and that's one way to kind of bring back community. This is a perfect event.
Yeah.
Of you're all working towards a common goal. You're doing the strange events. It's fun. It's a lot of work. It's not easy.
no, it isn't.
Because you have to, unfortunately, you
It's
don't always
days of work,
do
yeah.
everything in one take. You
Yeah.
have to do from different camera angles, and you have to do it for sound, and you have to do it over and over again sometimes. But everyone's working towards a process, and I think that's a good community event. It's a great opportunity for youth this summer.
It is.
People are looking for.
And taking this one step further is that Fact TV this year started a scholarship process. So we're giving money. We've decided that we want to promote video and media production amongst the kids of the community. So we're going even further and saying we're going to give a scholarship to kids who are graduating from Bellows Falls High School who are interested in doing this as a living. And so part of this so this all flows along from people just coming in and sort of, bumming around and maybe learning how to do a video that they're going to post on YouTube, to working maybe as an intern at Fact TV, to maybe working on several of the productions, to getting a paid job as a subcontractor, doing meetings. All of these things can fit together to move people and become to create a professional educational piece that is not through a formal school, but I think in many ways is more valuable than what you're getting at the formal school, because it's not, again, like we did, it's not theory.
Even if they're going to a formal school for filmmaking, having that much background in that many areas of production can make them that more successful. Should they choose that to be a career? Should they want to get into some kind of broadcast or some kind of filmmaking? Look at the Broad
Brothers.
They started out kind of dubbing around at Fact. They had a natural talent for filmmaking and passion for filmmaking. And I believe they're in college right now, and I think they're doing really well with their own.
Yeah, the
they
last
branded
I
their
heard, I
own-
thought they were in Budapest doing
filming.
films.
Yeah, they've had
which
some,
was like,
some
holy
really
cow,
unique
yeah.
opportunities, and they started kind of that same path of just kind of having an interest in production.
Right.
Coming here, learning some skills. I think it was under Jake at the time.
It was under Jake. When I first got here, we were making
Yeah.
zombie films.
Yeah,
under
the
Jake.
summer film camp.
Yeah,
wasn't
summer
it? 'Cause
film
you used
camp.
to do summer film
Yeah.
camp, and that's what I think summer film camp has now come into a whole community.
Right.
Like
That's
community
what
event.
basically what Strange
Strange
Events is. It's a more extension, and it's not just kids. It's summer shooting for the whole community.
So if people are listening, like maybe Tom and Chris Miller want to be involved this year and
Yeah.
have a part in Strange Events, what is the best way for them to
Well, they should
get
call. They
involved?
should come by the station and talk with Alex, or talk with me, or see you at the gym and talk with you, and we'll steer
I
you
know
in
I'm
the right
still
direction.
trying to get roped. They're still trying to rope me into Strange Events.
We
It's-
are. We're
I'm
looking
on the
for
cusp.
someone with
I'm on the cusp of probably
We
helping
need
out
someone with a
production.
strong organizational set.
We got background though.
We do?
Yeah.
Of what?
Nurses, doctors, background.
Oh yeah, we need. Oh, I'm sorry. We do need.
I'm like, I have no idea what that has to do with anything, but
Well,
that's
Alex
okay.
has just stuck his head in and reminded me that we need some people who can be like technical advisors, almost like if they were a nurse or a doctor, because there's scenes that take place in this newest episode that happen in the hospital.
Oh, so you want to have authenticity.
So we want to have
that's
some
even
idea
cooler.
of, well, what would you say if you have a person who's overdosed on drugs, or what would you say if you thought someone was mentally ill and they were hallucinating, or how would you treat them, and then how like they're looking, even if you were a social worker, because there's one of the scenes is where one of the kids is having difficulty because their mother is in the hospital and they may have to go to be taken away and taken to DCF care, and just knowing how to say all those things. So
technical consultants.
Technical
right?
consultants. We
And
need
you
those.
You get listed in the credits at the
You
end.
do. Yeah, and if you have places that might be interesting places to shoot, that's the other. We're trying to scout places where we can shoot scenes and do
when
things.
When are you looking to start? You're looking to start in July, right?
Yes, I think late June or July, and from there it'll go most of the summer. But
and then last year, I don't know, probably some people saw it, some people didn't, but last year we were lucky enough to be able to do the premiere of the film at the Opera House.
Yeah.
Which was really a cool thing. So hopefully that can happen again, and hopefully that's a really, I mean, to see something that you've worked on all summer and then to see it on the big screen is such a different experience than watching the video.
Yeah, as opposed to watching it on your phone or watching it on TV. Watching it in the Opera House is great, and I'm sure we'll do the same thing this year.
Yeah, so it's truly a community event. It's definitely targeted towards giving something for youth to do, but anybody can help out. So definitely contact Alex here.
Alex at the station, Alex at fact8.com, I think is the website, and then 463-1613 is the phone number. And then just before we leave, because we only have about a minute left, but I wanted to go to a project that you're talking about doing this
Yeah,
summer.
I'm thinking about, there was a thing that came up on Facebook. It was the 14 best creamy cones stands in the state of Vermont, and I have a special love of creamy cones. So my goal this summer is to try to hit most of them and do my own little creamy cone review, because my secret wish is to be a restaurant reviewer, like the Phantom Gourmet,
Right,
to go in and do restaurant reviews. I guess it wouldn't be secret if I was giving the reviews on TV. Well, they don't know who I was. So hopefully we're going to get that started soon, and each week I will have a different creamy cone stand. I'm looking to creamy cones that expand beyond the immediate area, because everyone knows we have great creamy cone stands right here in Bellows Falls. But my goal is more a day trip kind of. I like to do day trips.
But I think you should do the local ones too. I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't want to get into local politics.
Yeah,
with
that's
that
true.
One, that's my problem. That's why I'm keeping it. That's why I know that they did the pizza.
That's one of the most watched shows on Fact TV now. Is the pizza review show. It was like, and now you can't believe the deliveries we get now when Alex calls for any pizza, boy, it's like, boom, we're right here.
Perfect.
All right, so that's it.
Thank you for letting
Thanks,
us
Andrew,
improvise.
for coming
Thanks,
in today.
We
It was you were great, and thank you, Bellows Falls. And we're going to be out of here. See you next week. Who's our guest?
Next week, hopefully, we'll be talking about the alumni parade.
Yeah, alumni's coming up. Big, June, big doings
happenings.
in June. Thank you, Alex.
Bye, community.
That's it, folks, for the feed. Be sure to catch us every Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. Also, find us on Facebook at Fact TV, or tell us what you think. thefeed8@gmail.com. And don't forget to watch the feed online at www.fact8.com.